Hey guys, this is Mohit for Tenika. This is going to be the second part of the Fusion Basics video series. If you haven't watched the first video, then I'll encourage you to do watch it. So let's begin. This will be an introduction to 3D in Fusion. But before that, I'll explain few things which will help you when you're starting out in Fusion. So like earlier, I'll just add a loader node, select the video, open. Drag it to this viewer, fit. Now, click in the flow area. Let's add a background node. Shift spacebar, background. Okay. Now, drag it here, fit, change the color to white. Now, for this background node, I'll add an ellipse mask. See here. Like earlier, I'll uncheck solid and increase the border width. Now I'll connect the output of this to this. The merge node is automatically added. Now click and drag it into this one. Next, I'll rename these nodes. So I click on this mask node, press F2, mask 1, press F2 here, white BG. Now that is how we can rename the nodes. If you look at these nodes, we don't get any previews from these nodes. But when you're starting out, that could be very helpful. If we right click in the flow area and go to Force All Tile Pictures, we get this. Now say we want only the loader to have the preview. So again right click, I'll off this, right click, force source tile pictures. Now if you see, only the source pictures have the previews. I'll off that. Say we want only the active node to be having the preview. So right click and go to force active tile pictures. So if I click on this, you can see you will get a preview here. Click on this, you have a preview for this. Click on this, same there. I'll off all those things because I like to work this way, keeping it very simple. Now let's get into the 3D of Fusion. The best thing about Fusion is that we can combine the 2D and 3D elements inside Fusion together. So from this merge node, I can actually add another node, shift spacebar, shape 3D, which is a 3D node. If I drag this into the viewer, you'll be able to see the 3D viewport. Now inside the 3D viewport, if you hit Alt and middle mouse button and move, you can rotate around the 3D object, or Control and roll the scroller, you can zoom in and zoom out. Click on the middle mouse button and move around for this. Now if you see, this is a 3D card onto which this 2D image is projected. Now if you go to the settings of the shape 3D, you can see there are different shapes. Plane, which is active right now. Go to cube. This is what we get. We have a sphere, cylinder, cone, torus and icosphere. Let's go to plane. Now if you see here, it's different from this. Now by clicking on these buttons, I can activate lighting and shading. Say I want to add a light into the scene. So I'll click here, shift spacebar, light. If you see, we get ambient light, directional light, point light and spotlight. I'll add a point light. Okay. Now see, you have a light here. But this light is not affecting the scene. To do that, I'll add a merge 3D node. So click on the shape 3D and I'll add shift spacebar, merge 3D node. This time not the merge but the merge 3D. Since I had selected this shape 3D node, when I add the merge 3D, it is automatically connected. I'll connect this point light to this merge 3D. Now if I drag this, see the effect of the light. Now there's a difference between a regular merge node and a merge 3D node. The merge has only 3 inputs, but to this merge 3D node I can add any number of nodes. Say I'll add another light, a spotlight this time. I can add it to this one. Another shape 3D node. This one I can add it to this one. Another shape 3D. Even that. Now let's add a camera. Shift spacebar, camera 3D. Now we can connect it to the merge 3D. So we can add any number of nodes to this one merge 3D node. That is the main difference between the regular merge and the merge 3D. I'll select the camera 3D and pull it back. Right now if you see the viewport, down here you'll see perspective. So right click there, and if you select camera 3D1, which is this one, now you can see through the camera and move around in the viewport the same way. I'll go to the perspective. Let me delete these nodes. If I drag this into the viewer, we are still in the 3D space. I'll off the light also. Now I want the output to look like this as a 2D image and not as 3D. So for doing that, to this merge 3D node, I'll add a renderer 3D node. Shift spacebar, renderer 3D. Now if I drag this into the viewer, you have a 2D image now. From here on we can add the regular 2D compositing tools. Say if we want to add a color correction node, we can add that to this renderer 3D node. Click on CC and now we can change the colors. Now the important thing to note is if I want to add a color correction node, which is a 2D compositing tool, in between here, between these 3 nodes, which is the 3D node area, I'll not be able to do that. Say if I want to add a CC node. If I want this color correction node in between these 2 nodes, I can hit shift, click and drag this onto this connection. Leave it and you have the color correction node in between this. Now add a CC node. If I try to do the same thing here in between these 2 nodes, shift, click and drag, this node doesn't go in between here. If I try to do that here, no, it doesn't work. So the only way to mix 2D and 3D will be either before the shape 3D or after the renderer 3D. So here if you see, you have the color correction added, but that is after the renderer 3D node. So that's it for the second part of the Fusion Basics video series. If you like this video, do put a like, comment, share and do subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.